So yesterday's class we have discussed abdominal regions. Is not it? So I will start now. So abdomen, as we have told, it is a very big region. It is divided into three regions. They are cranial abdomen, middle abdomen, and caudal abdomen. Now here in this photograph, if you see that this part, this is the dorsoventral position of the animal. So this part is the cranial abdomen. This is the cranial abdomen. And this part is the middle abdomen. And from here to here is the caudal abdomen. Now cranial abdomen, this is the line drawn from the last rib. And there is another line from the elbow joint to the stifle joint. So all these lines will form a three abdomen. So cranial abdomen is again divided into three abdominal regions. They are left hypochondriac, right hypochondriac, and xiphoid region. So this is the xiphoid region. This side will be the left hypochondriac and this side will be the right hypochondriac. Yes. So middle abdomen is again divided into three parts. They are left flank, right flank, and umbilical region. I cannot show you because there is no diagram available here. So I have to show you in practical class. So you just remember here. So middle abdomen divided into three sub-regions. They are left flank, right flank, and umbilical region. And caudal abdomen is again divided into three sub-regions. They are left inguinal, right inguinal, and prepubic region. So here is the prepubic region. So cranial abdomen, this is the cranial abdomen. This is the middle abdomen. This is the caudal abdomen. Now cranial abdomen, three parts. This is the right hypochondriac region. This is the left hypochondriac region. And the middle part is called xiphoid region. Now you have seen one dotted lines here. This dotted line is from the point of elbow to the point of stifle. So three regions, left hypochondriac, right hypochondriac, and xiphoid. Now this is the middle abdomen divided into three parts. This is the right flank, this is the left flank, this is umbilical. And caudal abdomen again divided into three parts. Yeah. How you are getting information? So you are seeing WhatsApp, not what I am telling you are not interested. Then don't see WhatsApp now. If somebody is late, let them leave like that. Okay. There is no problem. If somebody will be absent, there is no problem. Now caudal abdomen again divided into three parts. They are right inguinal, left inguinal, and prepubic. This is the prepubic region. That means the total abdominal region is divided into 9 regions. 9 regions means cranial abdomen consists of 3 regions, middle abdomen consists of 3 regions, and caudal abdomen consists of 3 regions. Total 9 regions. So if somebody will ask you how many divisions, small divisions are present in the abdomen, you have to tell there are 9 divisions of the abdomen. They are under cranial abdomen, left hypochondriac, right hypochondriac, and xiphoid. Under middle abdomen, left flank, right flank, and umbilical. And under caudal abdomen, left inguinal, right inguinal, and prepubic region. Now inguinal region. The inguinal regions, right and left, lie cranial to the inguinal ligament. So inguinal ligament is present here. So this region is the inguinal region. inside you will get inguinal region. So where inguinal canal is present. Now next, the flank region. Flank, already I told you, the flank is that part of the lateral wall. Are you listening or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you correct it. Here there is a correction. I am correcting here. The flank is that part of the lateral wall of abdomen. Abdomen. Okay. Got the correction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So flank, what is flank? Flank is that part of the lateral wall of abdomen which is formed only by soft structure or devoid of any bony tissue. That means this part. This part region in the lower flank region. Now in the upper flank region, you will get a depression. Have you seen this depression in the photograph? Have you seen a
Yes,
triangular depression?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this triangular depression is known as paralumbar fossa. Now what is paralumbar fossa? It is a triangular depression present on the dorsal aspect of the flank region. So it is a triangular depression present on the dorsal face of the upper flank region, which is bounded dorsally by the lateral border of the longissimus dorsi muscle. Longissimus dorsi muscle is going like this. So lateral boundary of the longissimus dorsi muscle and transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae. These are the transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae. Ventrally by the dorsal border of the obliquus abdominis internas muscle. This fold, have you seen this fold here? Fold of muscle, have you seen?
Yes, sir.
This fold of muscle is the obliquus abdominis internas muscle. And rostrally or cranially, you will get the last rib. This is the last rib. So important. So what is paralumbar fossa? So paralumbar fossa is a triangular depression present on the upper part of the flank region, which is bounded dorsally by the lateral border of the longissimus dorsi muscle and the transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae. Ventrally by the folds of the obliquus abdominis internas muscle and cranially by the last rib. Now, what is the importance of this paralumbar fossa? If you want to do the laparotomy in the upper flank region, you have to cut in the middle of the paralumbar fossa. Okay? That is the importance of paralumbar. So, where do you find paralumbar fossa? Paralumbar fossa is found in the upper part of the flank region. What is flank region? Flank region is that part of the lateral abdomen which is free of bony tissue. The flank and paralumbar fossa are very important because you have to perform the laparotomy in the animal in this area. Now coming to the word peritoneum. Now here in this photograph, you will get in this photograph you will get the body of the animal. This is the trunk of the animal. This side is the cranial side. This is the caudal side. Now peritoneum. Now here you see there are two lines. You have seen. Have you seen two lines here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The outer line is the skin part of the animal, and the inner line is the covering membrane of the abdomen. This is the abdomen. So covering membrane of the abdomen is known as parietal peritoneum. And inside this you will get a cavity, and that cavity is known as peritoneal cavity. Now what is the peritoneum? The peritoneum is the thin serous membrane which lines the abdominal cavity and the part of the pelvic cavity. Okay, what is peritoneum? So peritoneum is a thin serous membrane that covers the lining of the abdominal cavity and part of the pelvic cavity. And that outer lining is known as parietal peritoneum. There are two types of peritoneum. One is parietal, one is visceral. The parietal peritoneum covers the outer lining of the abdominal cavity. And inside you will get a cavity, and that cavity is called peritoneal cavity. So in the thoracic cavity, the outer lining is known as parietal pleura, and in the abdomen it is called parietal peritoneum. Now what is peritoneum? It is a thin serous membrane that covers the abdomen or abdominal cavity. The covering membrane in the thoracic cavity is known as pleura, that is the parietal pleura, and covering membrane of the abdomen is known as parietal peritoneum. Now inside the coverings you will get a cavity known as peritoneal cavity, where you will get all the organs. Now in case of male, it is a closed sac. So abdominal cavity is a completely closed sac in case of male animal. But in case of female, it is not closed. So remember, so abdominal cavity is a closed sac in case of male, but open in case of female. Why female it is open? Because you see, this is the abdomen, here is the ovary, this is the fallopian tube. Now this ovary and the fallopian tube, they are present in the abdominal cavity. Now this fallopian tube, inside this fallopian tube there is a hole. Now fallopian tube is connected to the uterine horn. Uterine horn is connected to the body of the uterus and the cervix. Cervix is connected to the vagina. Vagina is connected to the vulva, and there is an external opening. So ultimately there is an opening in the abdominal cavity. Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
So as there is a vaginal opening or vulvar opening in the female, and that is the opening means there is a hole, and you will get a tubular structure or hole structure, and that will go up to the fallopian tube, and fallopian tube is present in the abdominal cavity. So that means there is a opening of the abdominal cavity to the outer environment in case of female. But male, there is not such, because male, of course, the inguinal canal, testicles are present here, but it is also covered by the skin. So that is why in male it is a completely in male it is a completely closed sac, but in case of female it is opening. There is opening. So in examination, somebody may ask you, so why there is open, why it is open abdominal cavity in case of female? You have to tell, because of the openings of the fallopian tubes, because fallopian tubes ultimately connected with the vulvar opening, and vulvar opening is connected to the outer environment. That is why it is a closed opening. Sorry, it is open in case of female one, but in case of male it is a closed sac. Now I told you that the outer lining, this is the outer lining of the peritoneal cavity. Outer lining of the peritoneal cavity is the parietal peritoneum. There is another peritoneum which is infolding towards the content of the abdominal cavity. And that lining is called visceral peritoneum. Now you see, I am giving example of, here it is the jejunum, here it is the colon, this is the colon, this is the cross section of the colon, this is the cross section of the jejunum, this is the pancreas. You see here, this is the parietal peritoneum, outer lining. It is coming, and then here it is infolding. Infolding is coming and it covers the organ. After that it will go and it will cover another organ. So that means visceral peritoneum will cover the content of the viscera, means organs present in the abdominal cavity. So you will get two types of peritoneum. One is parietal peritoneum, one is visceral peritoneum. Parietal peritoneum covers the outer lining of the abdominal cavity, whereas the visceral peritoneum covers the organs present in the abdominal cavity. Understood? So, in case of lungs also, the covering membrane of the lungs is the visceral pleura. That means organs are covered by the visceral pleura. Outer lining is known as parietal pleura. Similarly, in case of abdominal cavity, outer lining is the parietal peritoneum and the content are covered by the visceral peritoneum. Now, as this layer is formed by the serous membrane, it secretes liquid, a fluid, and that fluid is known as peritoneal fluid, and that peritoneal fluid is present inside the peritoneal cavity, and this fluid will allow the movement of these organs present in the abdominal cavity. Otherwise, when the organs will move, one organ may touch the another organ, there will be friction, but it is not happening because the outer layer of each and every organ is surrounded by the visceral peritoneum, and it is a liquid environment or moisture environment so that it can move a little bit without any friction. So it is because of the secretion of the peritoneum known as peritoneal fluid. These are already. Now, this peritoneum have some structures, form some structures, and these peritoneal structures are known as omentum, mesentery, or ligament. This ligament is not the ligament of the bone, okay? This ligament is different. This is the ligament of the ligament present inside the abdominal cavity, and that ligament is not connected with the bone, okay? Don't confuse with the ligament that you are getting. Ligament is a connective tissue that connects one bone to the another, so that ligament is different, and this is another ligament. Now, what is omentum? Okay, I'll come to that. Now, first is the omentum. You see, these are very important, huh? And omentum is a serosal fold, that means serous fold of double sheet of visceral peritoneum. You see here. This is visceral peritoneum or not? Already I told you. Parietal peritoneum will come and it will infold it to form the visceral peritoneum. So there are two folds. It will cover one organ, that is the jejunum. You see there are two folds are here. Two lines are there. That means double fold. An omentum is a serous fold of double sheet of visceral peritoneum which connects stomach to the other viscera. So omentum connects the stomach to the other viscera. Stomach to the other viscera. Okay? So what is omentum? Omentum is a serosal fold of double sheet of visceral peritoneum which connects stomach to the other viscera. So it will connect stomach to the other viscera. When it is connected to the stomach, this is the stomach, this is omentum. This is omentum. This is not omentum, this is mesentery. This is omentum. So that means to have the omentum, one side it has to be connected to the stomach and another side it has to connect to the Other viscera means like liver. It will connect it to the liver. It will connect it to the jejunum. It will connect it to the duodenum. That means stomach. I will explain later on. The stomach is having two curvature, greater curvature, lesser curvature. So lesser curvature, omentum, it will starts and connect to the liver. And greater omentum, it will connect to the greater curvature of the stomach to the other viscera. So to have a omentum, it must be forming by the double sheet of peritoneum, and one side it must have to connect the stomach and another side it has to connect to the other viscera. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now there are two omentum. One is called lesser omentum and there is the greater omentum. Now lesser omentum connects to the lesser curvature of the stomach. So stomach is having lesser curvature and the greater curvature. So lesser curvature of the stomach is connected by the lesser omentum, and it will connect to the liver and the duodenum. So one side it is connected to the lesser curvature of the stomach, another side it is connected to the liver and duodenum. That is called the lesser omentum. Now coming to the greater omentum. In the greater omentum, it arises from the greater curvature of the stomach, and it will connect to the different organ. Different organ means like jejunum, duodenum, colon, all these structures it is connected. And that omentum is called greater omentum. Now omental bursa. The omental bursa, also known as lesser sac. Okay, lesser sac. Is the cavity in the abdomen that is formed by the lesser and the greater omentum. You see. Here you see, this is the stomach. So it is a lesser curvature. It is the lesser curvature of the stomach, so it is the lesser omentum. This is the greater curvature of the stomach, that is the greater omentum. Both are coming and forming a bursa. Bursa means sac-like structure. Have you seen this sac-like structure? Have you seen my cursor or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So have you seen my cursor? Or you are going here and there? You are listening or you are going here and there by opening your that one?
No, sir.
You are listening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you see, this is the lesser curvature of the stomach. This is the greater curvature of the stomach. So this is greater omentum, this is lesser omentum. Both will form a sac-like structure, and that sac is known as omental bursa. Okay, omental bursa or omental bursa. The lesser sac is connected to the greater sac via the omental foramen. You see, this is the lesser sac, this is the greater sac, and these openings is known as omental foramen or foramen of Winslow or epiploic foramen. So here, this is the foramen. This is the foramen through which the lesser sac and the greater sac will connect it, and that is known as foramen of Winslow or epiploic foramen. Very important. So what is foramen of Winslow? It is the connection between the greater sac and the lesser sac of the omentum. That is called the epiploic foramen or foramen of Winslow. Now coming to the mesentery. So it is a fold of visceral peritoneum. The omentum is also a fold of visceral peritoneum. The mesentery is also a fold of visceral peritoneum. Now what is the difference? which attaches different parts of the intestine to the dorsal abdominal wall. Okay, that means, please concentrate. Omentum is formed by the visceral peritoneum. Mesentery is also formed by visceral peritoneum. Now, how can you differentiate? The differentiating point is that omentum connects to stomach to the other viscera, whereas mesentery connects to the intestine to the dorsal abdominal wall. Here you see, this is the jejunum. Jejunum is the part of intestine. Now, this is a mesentery. Mesentery connects to the intestine, that is here jejunum, with the dorsal abdominal wall. Otherwise, if mesentery will not be there, intestine will fall down in the abdominal cavity. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So intestine is not falling. Some parts of the intestine is present in this area. Some part of the intestine is present in this area. It is not fall down because it is hanging from the dorsal abdominal wall. By which structure? That structure is known as mesentery. So mesentery, double fold of visceral peritoneum. One side it is connected to the part of intestine. Another side it is connected to the dorsal abdominal wall. Whereas in the omentum, it is also a double fold of visceral peritoneum, but it connects one side with the stomach, another side with the other viscera. That is the difference. Now coming to the mesocolon. The mesocolon is also a fold of visceral peritoneum. Here it is connected with the colon to the dorsal abdominal wall. This is the colon, this is the dorsal abdominal wall. So colon is connected with a separate type of double fold of peritoneum called mesocolon. So you have come across. Now if somebody will ask you what are the folds of peritoneum, you have to tell the folds of peritoneum are omentum, mesentery, mesocolon. Okay? Okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the next part, ligament. The ligaments are also the folds of visceral peritoneum. Ligaments also folds of visceral peritoneum. Now what is the difference from the omentum and the mesocolon and mesentery? Here you see, which passes between the viscera other than the part of the digestive tube. Digestive tube matlab stomach, small intestine, large intestine. They are known as digestive tube. So other than the digestive tube में connection नहीं रहेगा. Okay, it is a double fold of peritoneum which passes between the viscera. Viscera के बीच में निकल जाएगा, but not connected to the digestive tube or connect them with the dorsal abdominal wall. So these are the folds of visceral peritoneum which passes between viscera other than the part of the digestive tube or connect them with the abdominal wall. That means ये क्या होगा? ये double fold of peritoneum तो होता ही है. It will connect the viscera, not the digestive tube, other viscera, and connect to the abdominal wall, not the dorsal abdominal wall. I am telling abdominal wall. It may be lateral abdominal wall, it may be dorsal abdominal wall, it may be ventral abdominal wall. Now can you make the difference between this omentum, mesentery, mesocolon and ligaments? क्या क्या है? Omentum क्या है? All are, देखो ये all these four are folds of peritoneum. Okay, visceral peritoneum. Omentum is also a visceral peritoneum, and mesentery also folds of visceral peritoneum. Mesocolon also folds of visceral peritoneum. Ligaments also folds of distal plate. Now what is the difference? Omentum kya hoga? Where it will connect? Omentum?
Stomach to other viscera.
Right. Stomach to other viscera. Then mesentery? Intestine to abdominal wall nahi hai baba. Dorsal abdominal wall. Intestine to then mesocolon.
Colon to the dorsal abdominal wall.
Very good. Next is the ligament. Passes between the viscera other than the digestive tube and connect to the abdominal wall. Don't say dorsal, ventral, lateral. It may be some cases dorsal, some cases lateral, some cases ventral, but not the digestive tube. Okay? Digestive tube matlab, it is starting from esophagus. Esophagus is a digestive tube, which is a tube-like structure. Stomach is a digestive tube. Small intestine is a digestive tube. Large intestine is a digestive tube. So the ligaments will not connect to the digestive tube. It will connect to the other viscera. Other viscera means, what are the other viscera? Liver, urinary bladder, kidney. Okay, these are not the part of digestive tube. It will connect to this structure and connect to the abdominal wall. Now here you see, this is a photograph of liver. Here you will get left longitudinal triangular ligament. This is a ligament. Okay, this is another. These are all ligaments. Falciform ligament. This is the falciform ligament. Left triangular ligament. Right triangular ligament. There are so many ligaments are present in the liver. Now, what is the importance of these ligaments? Ligaments allow the organ to be present in position so that it cannot move. Have you seen the spider net in a tree? So spider net is not present in the leaves. It is present in the open space, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that the prey can come. Now, this spider net is present in the open space, but it is connected with some thread to the structure or not. Otherwise, it will fall down. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
So ligaments are like that fold, that thread. Okay. Have you sometimes display some banners in the road? Have you seen some banners you are putting on the road or in some open space? It has to be
Yes, sir.
tied. It has to be tied with some pillars, right?
Yes, sir.
So the thread that connects the banner with the pillar, that threads are known as the ligaments. Understood my point?
Sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
If you remove, suppose generally the banner is tightened in a particular area with 4 different threads, right? So that it can be present in position. If you remove one thread, what will happen to the banner? It will be not in position, it will be folded, is not it? So similar to that of the ligament, the function of the ligament is that to hold the organ in position. Understood or not now?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Similarly, you see, this is the ovary. This is the fallopian tube. This is the uterus. Now you will get ligament. Here ligament I am showing in this side. This is one ligament, you see, mesoovarium. This is a mesoovarium. Is a ligament. Mesosalpinx. This is mesosalpinx. Is the ligament. This is mesometrium. That is the ligament. Overall, they are known as broad ligament of the uterus. So broad ligament of the uterus that holds the ovary, fallopian tube, and uterus in position. So these are the ligaments. Example is the broad ligament of the liver, then different ligaments of the liver. Broad ligaments of the uterus, broad ligaments of the uterus and different ligaments of the liver. So now can you make the difference between omentum, mesentery, mesocolon and ligaments? Can you make the difference or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all are visceral folds of peritoneum. Okay. Now coming to the last part, pelvic peritoneum. Now you see, this is the abdominal cavity. Now it is lined by peritoneum. It is lined by peritoneum, that is parietal peritoneum. This is a parietal peritoneum. Have you seen dotted line?
Yes, sir.
See, dotted line is the parietal peritoneum. This is the skin and the muscle. So this is abdominal cavity or not?
Yes, sir.
Now I told you abdominal cavity is covered, the parietal peritoneum covers the abdominal cavity and part of the pelvic cavity. I told you.
Yes, sir.
Now, how the pelvic part of the peritoneum forms? Very, very important. So, how the pelvic part of the peritoneum form, you just see here in the photograph. So, that means this structure, this is the urinary bladder, this is the part of the rectum, then this is the part of the uterus or cervix. This part are present in the pelvic cavity. This is pelvic cavity. Have you seen this bone? This is what bone? This is what bone?
Sacrum.
Sacrum, very good. So sacrum is present in the pelvic cavity or not? This is a coccygeal vertebrae. So this region is the pelvic cavity. This region is pelvic cavity. Okay. Have you seen my cursor or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now pelvic cavity starts from the sacrum up to this area. This area. Now this area, have you seen my cursor?
Yes, sir.
This area is not covered by peritoneum. This area is covered by peritoneum. That means peritoneum covers only anterior 1/3 of the pelvic cavity. Okay. The caudal 2/3 of the pelvic cavity is not covered by the peritoneum. And these structures present here, that is outside the peritoneal cavity, are called retroperitoneal position. Retroperitoneal means outside the peritoneal cavity. Now, where do you find retroperitoneal position? The caudal 2/3 of the pelvic cavity. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Concentrate, Baba. Tough hai. Now, so I am showing how the folding is formed caudally by the peritoneum. You see, coming to the dorsal side. Dorsally, this is sacrum, this is parietal. This dotted line is the parietal peritoneum. Now, there is a formation of pouch here. This is rectum. This is rectum. This is sacrococcygeal vertebrae. Now, there is a folding of peritoneum here and forming a fossa here. Have you seen fossa? One fossa here? And this fossa is called pararectal fossa, or it may be called as pouch-like structure. Pouch means pocket-like structure, and this pocket-like structure is called sacrorectal pouch. So this pouch is having two names. So in some book it is written as sacrorectal pouch or pararectal fossa. Sacrorectal pouch means, why the name sacrorectal? Because it is formed by the sacrum and the rectum. That is why it is called sacrorectal pouch. Similarly, next one, below the rectum and below dorsal to the genital organ. This is the genital organ, uterus. There is forming a pouch here. Have you seen one pouch? Have you seen or not?
Yes, sir.
This pouch is between the rectum and the genital organ. That is why this pouch is called rectogenital pouch. Now below the genital organ there is another pouch. Have you seen this pouch? Between the genital organ and the urinary bladder. And that pouch is called vesicogenital pouch. And ventrally, between the urinary bladder and the pubic bone is this is the pubic bone. There is another pouch. That pouch is called pubovesical pouch. So what I am trying to say is, caudally, parietal peritoneum forms different pouches. Understood or not? So what is the fate of the parietal peritoneum caudally? So caudally, in the 1/3 of the anterior part of the pelvic cavity, the parietal peritoneum will form different pouches. There are 4 different pouches. They are sacrorectal pouch, between the sacrum and the rectum, then rectogenital pouch, between the rectum and the genital organ, then vesicogenital pouch, between the genital organ and the urinary bladder, and the pubovesical pouch, between the urinary bladder and the pubic bone. So this is the fate of pelvic peritoneum in the pelvic cavity. Okay, understood? If somebody will ask you to write about the pelvic peritoneum, you have to explain this pouch. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, in case of males, you will get these pouches. Okay? So, there is one structure you will get in the male, that is the difference. Here you see, this is the cross section. This is the rectum. This is the urinary bladder, because there is no vagina or uterus in the male. This area will be empty. So what are the structures you are going to get? This is the rectum. This is the urinary bladder. These are 2 vas deferens, and below you will get the bladder. So A is the sacrorectal pouch, B is the rectogenital pouch, but here there is a complete separate structure between the rectum and the bladder, and that fold is known as genital fold. This is the genital fold. So genital fold you will be getting in case of male. Where do you find genital fold? Genital fold is present between the rectum above and the urinary bladder below. A separate layer you will get, a separate fold you will get in the male, and that is called the genital fold. Otherwise, the pouches will be getting whatever you are already I explained you. That is the difference in the male. Now in the female, in the female. So already I explained in the female, this is the female. Now what about the genital fold here? So here in the female, the genital fold is modified into broad ligament. So in the female, you won't find the genital fold. You will be getting the broad ligament. Okay, so that is the difference in case of male and female in the pelvic peritoneum. So this is all about the peritoneum and the abdominal cavity. If you want to ask me some question regarding the abdominal cavity, regarding today's class, you can ask me.
Sir, can you please show the first slide?
Huh?
Sir, can you please show the first
Which
slide?
slide?
First slide.
First slide? First slide is abdominal cavity. This one is the first slide.
Okay, sir.
First slide of today's class or what?
First slide of today's class, sir.
Why you are not telling? This is the first slide of today's class. I am explaining. Yeah. Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Any more query? So this abdominal cavity notes I have given. Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So your in the examination will be covered up to this area. Okay, up to today's class. Okay then, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.